Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. As promised, we've got a quick flurry of lots of videos coming out to bring you up to speed with all of my different portfolios, and this is the first one of that series. Today we're going to look at my Coinbase portfolio, which is where I hold all of my cryptocurrency. I started off investing in cryptocurrency maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, and I started off investing through a platform called eToro. Now that was perfect for me to get started. It was very simple to use, it was very easy. But I decided over a bit of time to move across to Coinbase, which is a really well-renowned cryptocurrency platform, and that's now where I hold all of my cryptocurrency. I see cryptocurrency as a speculative asset that should be part of anybody's portfolio who's investing for the long term. The key thing to remember when investing in any asset is to not invest more than you can afford to lose, and when you're talking about cryptocurrency, you definitely need to bear that in mind. Cryptocurrency is massively volatile, as we'll see in a moment. There's very large upswings, and then when things do pull back, you can lose 50 to 80% in some cases. So it's always important to remember that actually when you're investing in the more risky assets, you may one day open up your portfolio, your account, and find that there's just zero in there. And that's something that you have to be happy with before starting to invest in things like cryptocurrency. I keep cryptocurrency as a very small proportion of my overall portfolio. I aim for between 5 and 7.5%. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, there's been quite a large rally within the cryptocurrency space at the moment. And what that means is that my current allocation towards cryptocurrency is above my kind of target allocation of between 5 and 7.5%. But that's something that I can monitor and manage over time. At the moment, it's because there's been a large growth in there, so I'm happy to just keep it as is for now. But like I say, you'll see my overall portfolio in the coming videos. When I first started, I invested in lots of different cryptocurrencies, your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, but also some of the other ones like Cardano's, Ripple, and some of the more speculative, should we say, altcoins or meme coins. I was part of investing in SafeMoon, which I made quite a bit of money off, but obviously in hindsight was a bit of a stupid thing to do. And I wouldn't go down that route again. It did, however, give me a bit of extra capital. I think I made about £1,000 off of it, which I could then put back into my investment. So my approach into cryptocurrency has changed over time. I now invest solely in 2 different cryptos, and that being Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, when I last did an update on my cryptocurrency portfolio, it was back in June 2024, so just over a year now. That was the last video that I actually did, funnily enough. My portfolio at that point was valued at £3,567, and at that point, Bitcoin was again seeing something of a bull run, like we are at the moment. But it was just funny that it was similar to this sort of time last year. If we look at Bitcoin specifically, we can see that it's currently valued at just over £86,000 per coin. We recently hit all-time highs again. So if you can find it by clicking on the Insights tab. And the all-time high was £91,496. So it's again done really well over the last year. It's up 70% over the last year. And when you compare that to other assets, kind of your ETFs, your individual stocks and shares, there's not really anything else out there that generates that rate of return. Again, very high risk, still very high risk. I know people would argue with that, but I still see it as one of the riskier, well, definitely one of the riskier assets. But you can definitely get some really positive rates of return out there as well. If you hop across and have a look at Ethereum, Ethereum is at £2,742 per coin at the moment. Despite lots of cryptos within the kind of overall market reaching all-time highs this year, Ethereum is one of those that still hasn't done. Its last all-time high was back in November of 2021, when it hit £3,512. So there's still quite a lot of growth potential there for the Ethereum coin. And its performance over the last year is 12.5% increase. So again, not massive, but still larger than the average rate of return of things like the S&P 500. Again, since the last update, there's been lots of things changing within the cryptocurrency space, particularly around Bitcoin. There's lots happening in America. Obviously, the orange man over there, Donald Trump, is quite invested into the whole cryptocurrency space and kind of advocates for it. There's also been a push to allow cryptocurrency in people's pension portfolios over in America, 401ks, etc. So lots changing in the space at the moment, which has really stimulated this push. What's also happening is companies are now having cryptocurrency sit on their balance sheets. There's also been the release of a Bitcoin ETF, which has obviously propped up the price. I meant that it's obviously an easier barrier for entry. So that's meant that the price has increased kind of quite a lot over the last year because of those different factors that I've just mentioned. So without further ado, let's hop in and see actually exactly what my portfolio is currently valued at. As I say, I hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, and my overall portfolio is currently valued at, now bearing in mind this is moving all the time, but it's currently valued at £4,826.17. So it's all invested capital at this moment in time. If you have a look at the performance over the last week, it's kind of fairly level over the last week. but the last month are up 24ish%, the last year are up 42%, and since inception, this overall cryptocurrency portfolio is up 152%, so some really substantial growth in the time that I've had a Coinbase account. If we jump in and have a look at my Bitcoin currently, my Bitcoin is currently valued at, or I hold £2,767 worth of Bitcoin, or 0.032 of a Bitcoin. Obviously Bitcoins are really highly valued, and I just keep chipping away at that £10-20 every month, investing into it, so it's got that slow incremental growth. And then I'm obviously reaping the rewards of capital gains as well. My average cost for this is £24,000, so you can see the difference between what it's worth now and what my average cost is, which obviously just shows actually where that rate of return, where that return's come from. I've actually returned £1,985 here, and my return on Bitcoin alone is 253%, so absolutely massive in the time that I've had this Coinbase portfolio open. It's currently 67%, 67.5% of my overall cryptocurrency portfolio. The rest of it is made up in Ethereum, so we'll hop across and have a look at exactly what my Ethereum portfolio looks like. So you can see here my current value of Ethereum is currently just over £2,000 at £2,050 and a penny. My unrealised return is £917, and that's 81% rate of return since inception of this portfolio. The average cost base is £1,513, so again you can see it's up significantly based on what I've paid for it to what it is sat at now. And that is 42.5% of my overall portfolio. Now, something else that Coinbase allows you to do is to stake your Ethereum. The earning rate on Coinbase is currently 1.97%, and it's not massive. It's less than you would get if that money was sat in a possible bank account, but it means that I can hold Ethereum and also earn kind of an income on that as well. So since I've started doing this, kind of when I first started, I've earned £72.32, or 0.04 ETH. So there we go then, my cryptocurrency portfolio sat on Coinbase with currently a 151% rate of return, almost 152%. The current value of my portfolio on ending this video is £4,823.72, and that's a rate of return, or an actual return, of £2,907.79. If you found this video useful or interesting at all, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel for all of my future portfolio updates. The next video you'll be seeing will be a trading 2-on-2 update, showing you both my Vanguard ETFs, which sit within that portfolio, as well as all of my individual stocks and shares. And the video after that, I'm going to pull all of this together to show you what my current total net worth is, which will be a really good one, so stick around and wait for that. And yeah, with that said, I'll see you in the next one.